Hello. SirRocksAlot. Let's give it a couple of minutes and maybe we'll see what we're going to do today. I just came back from the girls' basketball game, which was fun, and they won, so that was fun. And didn't get to go on live this afternoon, so I thought I'd pop on real quick, probably for an hour maybe, and then I want to see what's going on in the markets in Asia. So let's see what we got here. That's probably better like that. That seems safe. All right. I don't know if you can see here. So this is what I wanted to get finished up today. Hi there, welcome in. So this was the Opal we did the other day, and this was the Carnelian. So I really want to get these finished off and get a good polish on these. So that's the plan. Welcome in, hi there. So yeah, we're gonna finish polishing off that. I didn't see that line. Where'd that line come from? Well, I gotta get those little scratches out right there. And I've got the Opal. And the Opal was like this. And I went ahead and tried to cut it. And it did start to cut well and then chipped right off. But it continued with my line. So I'm just going to, rather than cutting that off at the top there, you kind of see the saw line. I'm going to get rid of that piece of Opal. It is going to the Opal gods. And then we'll finish that up on the other three. And then we'll see if we finish off any of these turquoises. I went ahead and backed them already. So I haven't even pulled them off. Sometimes I put them on wax paper. Sometimes it works and sometimes it sticks too much. So I just backed a few of these to keep them together. So we might run off the backing on these wheels as well. 1, 2, 3. What have we got? Hey there, welcome in. Got a few different things we're doing today. This was actually the eBay turquoise, and I decided to back it because it needed to be more secure. And that one feels a little. It's not as stiff as I like it to be. What about this one? Well, we'll see. Let me get this big piece off. Thank you for the thumbs up. This one we may cut. We're going to bring all that in. And going to do this Carnelian first. I just need to get these little scratches out, and then we'll move this one over to the other three wheels. Really nice piece, but I wanted to finish it up today. And then we're also going to finish up the Opal, which we started the other day. You can see where I started to try to cut that off. Trying to make a little, I don't know what shape you call that. But that's the shape I'm going for. I'm going to have to bring this in because there's a little chip here. So that's got to come in a little bit. And hopefully we'll have something decent at the end. Hi Danielle, welcome in. Thanks for saying hi in the chat. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. Just got back from the ladies' basketball game, so that was a lot of fun. Let me see. Did I forget it again? Shoot a ding ding dong. Well, I forgot again. That's alright. Maybe I'll get it in a second. Let's get moving on this because I want to get moving, and then maybe I'll get the phone back out a little bit later, at a later time. I really wanted to show you the game and my Christmas presents, but I guess it's going to have to wait again. Hi Dana, welcome in. How are you? I hope you had a wonderful holiday, Dana. haven't been hitting YouTube as much as I normally do, but I always like to see you in the chat, and you've always been really supportive. Look at that one. We may get to that one. But for right now, we're going to start with the Carnelian. So we're just going to take those little scratches out right there, and then we're going to polish up the rest. Hi, Leonor. All right. All my resellers are coming in. Welcome in. I hope you had a good Christmas. I'm pretty sure you did. And I'm really looking forward to the new year. I really appreciate all your support. I believe I just went over 1250 in subscribers, and I may have just hit my hours as well. At least the hours. I think I've already got the hours I need. And then I have 2 more videos that we've already finished that the hours are going to kick it into overdrive. And if I had my phone out here, I could show you guys. But yeah, very exciting. So I'm very excited about the new year, and I'll be putting some posts out just thanking everybody. And yeah, it's pretty phenomenal where I was this time last year to where I am today. I think last year I was at 87 subscribers, and I wanted to get triple that for the year, which is 261. And I think we did the 261 plus 1,000. So I mean, it's just amazing. Yeah, and I don't know what I'm going to do as far as monetization. I don't know if I need to reach out to a few people that have done it and see what they would and wouldn't do. I'd still be here doing this with you guys anyway, so that's just an add-on. It wasn't an expected add-on. So let's get this face finished. Otherwise, I'll keep talking and talking. A little bit of noise. That pump is not doing very well. Why is that? And that one's off. Okay. So let's do a little. I'm going to show you guys what's making that noise. So this is the air pump over here. Where's that pumping from? And you have these little tubes here that go to the back of the air pump, and then it pumps air into the bottom of this, and that's what flicks the water on your wheel, and that's what helps you not die from silicosis. So doing lapidary it has its dangers. Some of it can be danger from the stone itself. And here, let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm going to take you off. I hope I don't lose you. So in the back here is where the tubes are that I'm talking about. One goes over to the right. This one was actually off. So this just needs to be reconnected right there. And then when I put the top back on, I got to make sure I don't knock them off. And I guess when we put them back on, I knocked it off. All right, we're getting good at that. Well, I shouldn't have said that. I probably just jinxed myself. Let's get that down. Oop. And so, yeah, the water's really important, whether it's a drip feed, which is like Cab King and Highland Tech. They do drip feeds from the top. This one just spits the water up on there and keeps the dust down. Sort of like a construction site. All right, let's try it again. All right. Now I got both of those in there. Let's see if we can take off this little bit of scratchy. Shouldn't be too loud. Hey Dave, welcome in. Yes, it is. So, hold up. So Dave, I know I think you're at courtside, I'm not sure. But I need to give you a call, so I'm going to text you maybe tomorrow. And I think I just got monetized, and I had a couple of questions. I'm not looking for advice, just suggestions, so I may give you a call tomorrow, if that's all right. But I'll text you first. And so everybody in the chat, that's Dave. A lot of us get material from Dave. We watch all his videos. A lot of what I'm doing on these wheels I've done from watching him, so I have a huge thanks out for Dave. And I believe they are in quartzite at a, not gem and mineral, but mineral and material sale. And if you go to his channel and look up quartzite or any of the shows, it's really fun to go around with him, whether it's Tucson or Denver, quartzite, and meet all the people in the business and all the materials that they're selling, so it's kind of neat. Hey, Shellbell, welcome in. Let's just do a quick check on this, see if we're making any difference. I can't see, it's not drying up. Let's have a look. Mr. Cook, welcome in. Thank you. Here's a little bit of an opal. So we're going to do this one in a minute. We're going to finish this one up. That was my awesome cut right there. But it had already chipped out. So I was just trying to cut that off when it decided it didn't want to do it in a straight line. So I'm just going to work that down with the machine. So we're going to do this first, and then we're going to get to that one. Yeah, happy holidays to everybody. New Year's coming. Uh-oh, that was not good. Ew, that is not good. Oops. This may turn into a maintenance. Shoot. Yeah, that may turn into maintenance. Alright. Well, that is not what I was planning. Let's see what I can do here. Well, man. So we may take the genie to pieces. So I got to apologize. I did not expect the pump to just stop like that. I have a feeling it's because the belt got oiled. Let's have a look. So if you want to hang around, it's going to turn into a maintenance video rather than my usual life. So for some reason, there you go. What I'm afraid of, though, so it's going now. I'm afraid it got too much oil on it. Let's see. Maybe that'll work. Let's get that in. Come on. Okay. A lot of oil going on. So it may be too much oil on here. I'm afraid it's gone onto the belt, and that's why it's wiggling. So let's see what we can do. Let's try and stay fluid here, right? I don't know if this is going to work. So if this doesn't work, I'm going to have to take all the wheels off. Let's get that in. I'll end up having to take all the wheels off. Taking off the belt. And you won't be able to see all that, so we'll see how this goes. This may just turn into a show and tell. All right. A little prayer to the genie gods. I have a feeling I know what's going to happen. All right, let's see. Alright, so far so good. Hey Akira, how you doing? So I kind of know what's happened. I'm just guarding the phone from all the water that's spitting up. If it stops again, I'm going to end up having to take all these wheels off, getting into the belt under here, and maybe using some denatured alcohol to clean it up. So this may be a really quick live. Let's try this again. Here we go. Oh, it's going to trick me. See that? Yeah, we're good. Working on the fly here. When you get lemons, alright, so far so good. Yeah, Dave, I think I over-oiled it, and eventually it drips in down to the bottom and it can get onto your belt. And if that's the case, then I'll have to do a full pump cleaning and take some acetone to it and clean it all up. Doesn't take long, but it's not the most interesting video. Alright. I don't want to jinx myself, but that was pretty good for on the fly. Alright, so those lines that we had are gone, and really we're done with this wheel on this one. Now we're going to hit the Opal real quick. That one's good. So let's have a look at the Opal. I'm sure some of you may have seen you know, that Opal guy, they've been holding quite a few. We had a couple the other day, mostly with Steven, I think. But it's not just our channels. I've seen it on some of the resellers' channels. So there was a chip in here anyway, this piece, and I went to cut it, and it decided to take a little bit of a flight before it went all the way through right here. So you can kind of see where my saw line was. I'm just trying to get a general shape. So I've also got to take this little chip out somehow. And I may lose a little bit of Opal doing that, but that's okay. So let's see if I can get this edge done without chipping it anymore. So I can see my line in here anyway, and that little piece is going to disappear. And then maybe you'll see the shape I'm trying to go for. I wouldn't normally do this on a metal wheel because it'll chip Opal pretty quick, especially when it's this thin. But this is a pretty worn out wheel. There you go. I just made all that Opal disappear, I did. But now you're starting to get a little bit of the shape that I'm going for. And I still have to take that out, so this part's going to hurt. I'm going to lose some more. I got to straighten that up. Ooh, I'm off a little bit. If I do it that way, that way, that way. I'm starting to come in on that little imperfection there. The shape is still off. That's okay, I can fix that. I think that's almost enough that I can round that off if I need to. Do the back real quick. That's right. It is to protect you in the Opal rehab when they send us in for being Opal addicts. Okay, let me come off of that one. A little bit better. Almost centered it. And looking much better. So let's move over here. There's still a couple of little pieces of sand left in here. I've got one over here. There's that tiny little edge right there that I think is going to come off. And I still got that original. This is a big piece of sand that was here. And we're almost there. It's got to come off a little bit more. I'm going to do some here, and the rest is going to get taken off on the 600. It's looking good. Bring this down a little. Welcome in, everybody. So, hey Depression, how are you? Hey Deborah, how are you? I don't know if I saved everything, but glad you all could come in. I had a busy day. Normally you go on about 1:30, and the last 3 or 4 weeks I've been going to some ladies basketball games with my father-in-law. Anytime we can spend some time with him. He's in his 80s, and well, none of us have a lot of time, so I find it important to spend as much time as we can with him. Plus, you never know if tomorrow you're just going to get run over by a bus. So going to the basketball games is a lot of fun. And actually, Miss Freckle Cat today, I forget what song it was she was dancing to, but she got put up on the big screen today. So she's a big screen dancer at this point. Okay, got a little bit left there. Awesome. Well, I'm glad he did. I've only just come across Lion's channel maybe in the last 3 weeks. And he seems like just a down-to-earth chap, and some of the walks and things that he's showing going around, Sherwood Forest and such, brings back a lot of memories for me from when I grew up. My dad and my cousins and aunts and uncles, my grandma, my grandfather, they were all miners in England. So they were up around Burnley and Accrington, and so I grew up going up to visit up there, and I don't know, watching Lion's channel. It was just one to hear fun to hear his voice, but it's also lovely to go on his little walkabouts that he does, looking for fossils. So I remember going up on the top of the Pennines, so in between Lancashire and Yorkshire, and all the farmers' fields up there are mostly stone, but all the stone is mostly fossil material. So it was fun as a child to be able to go around and take a look around, and so yeah, I'm glad you could make it. Yeah, and then my cousins are still there too. I've got two cousins. Well, I know one's in Manchester right now, even though she was from Wakefield, and my aunt and uncle were Wakefield. And then I have another cousin that's Leeds. So I just found out my niece is going to start going to Leeds. So I'm going to roll this just a little bit. So yeah, I remember going up to Witches Country in the Pennines, and my dad was a miner. There were 5 people in a 2 up, 2 down during the Second World War, and I really appreciate what I have now compared to what they grew up with. I don't think people quite understand it. It's pretty tough. But it's beautiful country, and I wish I'd done more metal detecting growing up. Get my line right here. And good. Yeah, I would have done a lot more metal detecting. I should have growing up. Well, that's funny. So my dad wasn't Newton LeWillows. He was Clayton Lamores. I know it's changed a lot since he was there. But yeah, just a small town. And all his friends started mining when they were 14 years old, after the Second World War. And yeah, my dad, they knew he was pretty smart, so they tried to keep him on. He went to a grammar school. They tried to keep him on as long as they could, but then he went down to the mine when he was 15. And it's not that long ago if you think about it. It's only 75 years ago. Almost there. Yeah. Good history and wonderful memories. So, and actually, his ashes are up there. I forgot about that. they kept half of them. Half of them's in the south of England and half of them's up on the Pennines. And I'm sure you're not allowed to do that stuff, but yeah, they put them up. They put them up on the top of the Pennines. Let's put a little black backing on that and see if that makes a difference. It's still got a little bit in there. And this is broad flashing. I'm going to take it one more time on there, and then the rest will get out on the 600, but I really got to get that out. Let's get this out. Really just trying to roll it evenly across the whole cup. There we go. Around Surrey and Sussex. again, small villages. I went to school down there. And then Devon, we used to go, where was it? Well, we go to Devon and Cornwall. So I spent some time in Plymouth, and then we'd go across to, okay, here's one for you. Just to test me, depression, test me. So one of the other spots we'd go to is Bude, so Bude. And now I can't think of the other place. So the other one that we'd go to sometimes on holiday was where they did the show, The Doctor. I think it's The Doctor. Oh no, Dr. Martin. So the show, the English show, they put it on over here in the States. But Dr. Martin that was on over here is on public broadcasting system, so PBS. But I was watching one day, and we used to go there, and that was oh shoot, there it goes. That was Port Isaac. So, let's try this one more time. Let me try it one more time, and then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm just going into my history lessons here. Let's try it one more time. But thank you all for being here. This was not expected. Let's see. I wish the machine sounded like that, because that would keep it quiet, but I really need the water. We'll try it one more time here. And then I know what I'm doing tomorrow night. I'm going to come back in here and give this the once over. Yeah, there's too much oil in there. Let's pull that off. So really there's too much oil down in here, and it's coming down into here and getting onto the wheel over here. Alright. Well, it seems to be lasting us for a minute. Let's see if it works again. See, it's off center a little bit. There you go. So I don't know if we're going to try the turquoise. I might just take the edges off, and then we'll do the opal. Alright. But, although not an endorsement, the Diamond Pacific Genie is, it's not too complicated. So even I can take it to... Really? Yeah, I used to go... So we'd go there, and I think it was Bude. Oops. And they used to have a lock right there that went out into the little harbor. It was just a tiny little harbor. I think it's Bude. And we put our crabbing strings down the side of the dock right there and pull up crab. And then Port Isaac, where they did the Dr. Martin show. If anybody's listening and you don't know the Dr. Martin show, you should Google it and find it. It's really fun. It's a fun show. Very English. And that, where they did that show is Port Isaac. And I used to slip down where the lifeguard boat used to go into the harbor right there. That's just on my holidays. And then also I would go into a stream. There's a stream that comes through the side of the town down into the Atlantic right there. And I'd go into the creek and tickle trout. Don't know if everybody knows tickling trout. So tickling trout is literally being still enough over a trout that you can tickle it from tail end with one hand and its head from the other end, where you make the trout relax so much that you can then pick it up with your hands. That's called tickling trout. I can tickle a trout. Maybe that's why I'm good with rocks. I have no idea. All right, so gonna leave this one. Let's see if we're still going. We got one still going. I think that one popped off, but we're gonna keep going. So the other one, the depression that we would go to is, I think it's rock, just rock, down there on the coast. That one was a little bit more touristy. When I went to Port Isaac, it wasn't too touristy at the time. Thanks for all sticking around. Yeah, I'd love to go. My brother still goes, and my niece and nephew go down there occasionally. And my mom, not so much anymore. All right, I think we got it. Okay, so now it's still there, just a tiny little bit right there. So yeah, being on YouTube, it's been funny because I find people popping up in the chat, and I end up talking about some of the stuff I did growing up, and the stuff I haven't really thought about in a long time, and it was a really good part of my life. Alright, I think we're good. If it's still there... No, actually, I'm an Englishman with a twang. Yeah, that's the way it's going to hang, like that. So occasionally it'll give that pop right now. So, alright. Let's move over. No, we're going to do the turquoise real quick. So these were the pieces. I don't know if you remember these from the other day. This one had a huge hole in the back. I got some nice blues out of it here. And I just did some JB weld on the back to hold it together. So just gonna... Maybe it's just because I like Opal. So just gonna take these off real quick. I'm just taking the edges of the epoxy off so I can get back to the stone, because they're mostly shaped. And then we'll try to do them on the other three wheels. Look at the blue. So I'd love to get down to that. So how do we do that? Do we orient it this way? Right, we'll do that in a minute. Let's do another one. This was the eBay stuff, actually. Still a little chippy. I would love to go to Australia. And I think as most English people, there's always somebody in the family at some point ended up over there. Some for good and some for not so good. But I do have some cousins, I think, on my mom's side. Just taking it off. It's super thin. It's just to hold it together a little bit. Maybe help it from cracking. And it'll give it a longer life. This one turned out pretty good too. Same thing. Little chippy still in there, so that's why I put this backing on. This backing, actually it's JB Weld, but I was trying to do the quick epoxy. So it's supposed to be 5 minutes, but I left it overnight and it doesn't seem to have cured as well as the overnight epoxy. But it'll do what's needed. It'll do exactly what I need it to do, I think. Take that off. And it's really that quick. No depression, I'm not. I need to come back over though. So this one was a really nice piece we started the other day, and then it sat in the water for a little bit and just cracked. All that matrix came out. So I do a little bit there and a little bit here is what I do. It's funny, we've been watching the British baking show, the juniors lately, which I think they film it in Kent. I think it's one of the girls' school in Kent, and every time they come out it's raining, so I don't miss the rain. Here we get the rain, but it comes all at once. Right, so this side I got to bring it in because it has all that crumble in it. So, and I got to get the epoxy off the top too. So just take that off real quick. There we go. Yeah, my mother was telling me it was pretty cold last week. And you're in the south, so I imagine where Lyons is, it's a lot colder. I think the worst weather, I can hear, do you hear that? Oh, not good. Not good, that knocking. Alright, let's turn that for a second. We're going to move over. Let's move over here. Let's just move over to the other side. Like that. Fix the water in here. There we go. Get that going again. The screwdriver's right there. Just tighten it up a little bit. There we go. That should do it. So let's try this. I really want to get this Carnelian done, so Carnelian and the Opal is what I'm going for before this pump goes out. And that will be one of my goals, I think, for next year. So I want to either sell enough stones or somehow through my lapidary afford a new machine. I hope my machine just heard that. That's not good. But yeah, so sometime next year, I'd love to get another Genie. I love this machine. So this one shouldn't take too long, as long as I hit every spot. I'm only going to take it up to the 3000, so on this side of the machine I have 600 grit, which is pretty worn out, a 1200 that's worn somewhat, and then this one is a 3000, and that's a pretty new machine. I mean, pretty new wheel. And I got one little scratch right there. And so as long as I hit all the spots I should be okay. Oh, absolutely, I'll check it out as soon as I'm off today. Yeah, 10 o'clock for me. Well, it depends on how long you're on for. If you're on for a while, I can check it out. I mean, I'm only at work. I got to work pretty early. So yeah, thanks so much for coming in. Nice chatting with you too. Yeah. Lovely to think about those childhood holidays. That could be a lot more interesting than me, right? A Spider-Man dancing. Man, I gotta get up. Now I did get some DC Comic Batman shoes a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if that counts. And I do have a Batman helmet at work. This is 1200. Come on, Genie, you can do this. You can do this. Watched an awful game of football. When was that? Yesterday? Aston Villa, Chelsea. I grew up a Chelsea fan. I've been a Chelsea fan since I was 7, I think. 7, 8 years old. I'll tell the story behind that another time. It's a good story, but I'll tell that another time. Alright, Depression. Hope you have a good night. Sleep well. And if I don't see you in one of your chats, have a wonderful, wonderful New Year. This is the Carnelian that we're going to finish up. Wow. Alright, I love the colors on these. Look at that. That's all nature right there. That's just fabulous. So I believe by the 31st of this year, of this month, I will have passed all goals needed to monetize, I think. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to monetize. I enjoy what we're doing. And I think further into the year we might look at selling a few things. I do have a friend who has a large amount of different materials, from rough to hundreds of tabs of picture jasper and mookaite and Indian paint jasper, figs, shoots, a lot of stuff, a lot of Larimar, both in the rough and tabs and slabs. So she asked me maybe to help her in the new year as far as the sale. $3,000. I better do a check. Hold it. Let's do a check. Gotta find a dry spot in my shirt. Ooh, I got couple little scratches I missed. I got some, I got some deep ones up top there. See there? Bam! Look at that. So I'm gonna have to come back and get that at some point. Let's see how the back's looking. The back, other than the cat hair, looking pretty good. The back looks good. The front, I got a couple of little divots in there I'm gonna have to get out. But we're gonna do this because the machine's having a hard time today. Appreciate you all being here and hitting that thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, it's SirRocksAlot, and I go live on Thursdays and Sundays. So if you want that notification, just hit the subscribe button and the little dangly thing, and you should get notified in a minute or two of me going live. I have a lot of new material for the new year. Some I haven't even unpacked yet. Really looking forward to sharing it with you guys. Some Verisites to Turquoise to Opal. We got some nice jaspers coming out, moss agates, some petrified wood. Do I have to go back right now? Let me see. Let's see how bad this scratch is here. Pretty bad. And yeah, I gotta get those out. It's just at the top there, but don't mind kind of looking from afar maybe. Oh shoot, I don't even have the lid on over there. Let's see if we can do this. Sorry, that's pretty long range. Let's see if I can do this. Little light. Can we even see that far? You kind of can. And ooh, that's making noise. Let's see if I can get this out of here real quick. Doing this dry. I went back to the metal. Bam, and just like that, just out. One minute and I'll be done over here. Wetting it just a little bit. Go around it once or twice. Sorry, there's no point in me doing the polishing if I've got little scratches in it. And I probably should have looked better before. Now, I think we're good. Okay. So now back over here. Yeah, sometimes you gotta go back. Nothing wrong with it. Just quick work. I still got one little scratch right there. Still there. Come on. Still there. Dang it. Sorry, I'm back over here again. Almost there. Okay. There we go. That's better. Thanks for hanging in. Alright. I'm going to come back to these. At least this way it'll be done the way I want it. Now normally with an agate, petrified wood, jaspers, jades, anything that's super hard, I would use a cerium oxide powder. I'm not going to do that with this one because I did leave the live edge and it'll just get caught up in it. And I don't know if anybody can look it up. Can anybody look up the silver price in China? It just opened up, whether it's Australia or China. I'd love to know if it popped up from 79 into the 80s, or did they finally push it down and back into the low 70s? It's a big day. The United States, or the Western market's basically been closed for Christmas. So they haven't had much of an input in on it, and it's gone over 80. It was up to like 84 in China. So I don't know how it opened today. It may take a few minutes. Alright, let's see how we're doing. Much better. Hopefully that's not for me. Alright. Looking good. Looking really good. Okay. So let's just do this last wheel, and then we're going to hit the Opal again. So that's my cerium wheel on the end there. 81. Thank you, Minty. That's insane. Minty, you need to be going out and put a claim out in Arizona on a copper mine somewhere. Or an old copper mine. And go put up my 4 pegs. Because most of the time they got a silver comes, it won't come from a silver mine, it comes from a copper mine or a zinc mine. Sometimes, occasionally a gold mine. But most silver is a byproduct of other types of metal mining. Hey, Miss Trickle Cat. I think I saw you on the big screen today. Dancing away. Alright, we're pretty much done with this one. And hopefully we can get through the Opal. Hopefully. Alright, let's try this one out. Looking good. So that's a polish. You can see my light. You can see the shade to the light. So that's a pretty good polish. That's the back. more wet than normal. Let's see. And that is the front. And look, I got scratches right there. That must have come off there somewhere. Yeah. That's as far as I'm going to go on this one today. Now we're going to work on this Opal. Hopefully. Not sure. There's the Opal. Oh, Opal's in the tray. So Opal can disappear really quick. It was in the water. Look at that. You can see my finger back there. And we're going to try and finish this one up. Just going around the edge. It's a pretty hard Opal, so I'm not worried about the thickness. But I am putting an angle on the girdle. I have to come around just a tiny bit to sort of blunt out those corners. Not much, just enough that it doesn't chip. So they still look really sharp. And actually when you go to set them, the sharp corner of the bezel, as it comes around that corner, will put a sharpness back into it. So, but it stops it from chipping. I'm going to do a little bit right there, just a tiny bit. And right on this corner as well. Get a quick flash on that one. Now I'm going to start rolling. I'm hoping as I roll this, even though it's a really soft 600, I'm hoping to get into that bar just a really fraction a little bit more. I'd love for a tiny bit more color to be popping. It's really nice. Wow, okay. Really nice. I'm not pressing hard at all. Now this one we should be able to put on the cerium on the end. Bringing it in, I'm bringing it down like maybe 1/10 of a millimeter is what I'm trying to do. I mean really just a tiny little bit. And I believe it may bring the color out, pop a little bit better. Yeah. So the other thing I could do, you see it's crystal and you can see right through it. Really beautiful piece, but I'm not sure I'm going to, but I could if I wanted to put something on the back that's black, and that helps make it pop out a little bit more as well. But I think I'm pretty happy with it. Look at that. It's like something out of the Webb telescope or the Hubble. Let's go over to this middle one. Even from this angle, it's even better in person. Phones and cameras only pick up or enhance colors a little bit, which would be blues, purples, well blues anyway. Greens it'll enhance a little bit. Reds it tends to take out. I do have a tiny little speck of sand right there. Which I don't have to get out, but it'll be nice. Let's see if it'll come out on this 600. Just a tiny bit. Almost done. I think it just left. See that little white line? I think that was it. See the little white line? Go ahead, just a tad. Alright, looking good. See how small it is now? I think I lost my flashlight. I did. I just got that little bit of sand right there. I don't think it goes deep. It doesn't. So we're going to push this till we get it out. Maybe if I use the edge, it'll bring it out a little quicker. It's when I first started watching, I watched a lot of Opal, and the way you could tell that there was really good color, if you look in the reflection on the wheel, the wet wheel. So if you can see color, see how it only shows the blues on the top. But look at that end, and the end is that good in color because it's just stacked all the way down. Whereas when you're this thin, it's just stacked from the top down. And that little bit just doesn't want to quite come out. And now it'll come out. So close, but I'm going to leave it for right now. Move over. Welcome in, everybody. Just finishing up this piece of Opal. We've had a few mishaps during the live today. Oh, talking of, there goes another one. But nothing we couldn't fix. So we had a little maintenance on the machine in the middle of the live today. These things happen. Let's do the kite. I've never done the kite. Ooh. I don't know if anybody's doing sales tonight. I know sometimes resellers, so jewelry resellers have been a really huge support to me, as have all the other lapidarists and rock hounders. And then we've had some awesome channels, some out in the UK, some in Australia popping in. Had quite a few from Indonesia popping in, which is really nice. Had quite a lot of new folks coming in from the Middle East, which is awesome. So we've had quite the array of people, and it's really neat to see people joining through an art like lapidary. Do the end one last time. Then we're going to get the 3000, and it doesn't want to go. It's just a little speck now, and I really want it out. I'm going to go back. Just for a second. Come on. It's such a beautiful stone for me to leave an imperfection just at the end of it. It seems silly to me. So I'm just gonna get this done. Oh yeah, almost there. Just a tiny little bit to go. Right. I don't want to go back to the next wheel. It'll take out a whole sort of fifth of a millimeter, and I don't want to go down that deep. I think we're pretty much there. Pretty much there. Right there. Alright. Very stubborn. Alright. I think it's almost gone because I can't really see it, so we're good. Now I've got to be careful of not dropping the stone. It's a little more delicate than it was at the beginning of the wheels, so if it flies up and hits one of these guys, it won't be pretty. You might hear me gasp a little bit, but we're just redoing the back because we finished this wheel already on the front. Just finishing the back, and then we're going to move on to the 3000, which we can do right about now, I think. This is where I want to be really careful not to drop it. Thank you for the thumbs up, everybody. It's really appreciated. It helps push out the video. The last two videos we've done have been just fantastic. So I really wanted to get these two pieces finished before the end of the weekend. Alright. Working good. Let me do my edges again. Holding the shape. This is a beautiful stone. Get the front. Hopefully I've done everything right up till now, so I don't have to do too much here. the other side. Alright, let me find my cerium. Let's tell if that's a crack in the back. That's right there, that's why. So I got something to finish on the back here too. Rat-a-tat-tat. They do have a scratch right up there. Well, we're going to polish the front. I can take it off the back another time. So we're going to go over to the cerium real quick. So we can get this around. About there. Right about there. Pretty good. A little bit of light on there. So, it's already got enough cerium on it. Bring this down. Get that nice and wet. Normally I would put a little extra cerium on it, but I think I got enough on here over the years. And this may show up that little scuff on the back for me too. But it should also show how the front's going to look. It should be great. You can kind of see the cerium coming out on my fingers. So you don't want your opal to get hot on felt. It will crack. Alright, let's get this front down. Alright, I think we're done. Let's turn that off. Come back over here so I don't drop it on the floor. That is a pretty piece. Look how clear it is. So that's with no light on it. If you see in the shadows there, and that'll pop out in the sun. And yeah, I got scratches right there. You see them? They're not cracks, just little tiny little scratches I got to get out. But that's okay. I'm glad the serum showed that to me because it's got to come out. So at least they're not cracks. It's just where that initial little chip was. It goes right there, so we'll have to get that out. Shouldn't take long. Hey Ahmed, welcome in. So let's get a quick picture. That is awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and get that out. And then the Carnelian came out fantastic too. And that's where we're going to end it for the night. Got some scratches on there. I got to get it out. So, a little rushed. I don't think having the pump issues at the beginning helped me out much. But yeah, look at that. So thank you all for being here. It's a little bit late for me. Normally I go on in the afternoons on a Sunday. But, you know, you always take the time with your family when you can. And we got to go see an awesome basketball game today. So that was a lot of fun. And yeah, you guys are becoming family, and I truly mean that, so thank you. I will be back on probably Thursday, if not before, but probably Thursday. And wishing you all a happy new year. I'm going to start setting, I don't know if I'm going to set goals. Maybe some slight expectations. Because I really don't know where the channel's going to go to next. I'm just flabbergasted about where it came this year. So I thank you all for that. And we will see you in the next one. And in the meantime, take care of each other. And most of all, take care of yourselves. Cheers now. What a beautiful piece. So I'm probably going to take those scratches out right now. So, thank you all. Bye now.